say, honey, it's you.
Good morning, all. Welcome to Shine's Room. Little ditty called Help on the Way. That was dedicated to the Bernanke. Help on the Way. Welcome to Shine's Room. It is the 12th of July. What's our mission here? It's to create ultimate full-service trading experience for traders of all skill levels and backgrounds. We invite you into our private trading environment, which offers multiple strategies, including market insight, mentorship, coaching, education, market clarity, giving you access to real-time interactive trading community of members and master traders, all discussing the markets live. Utilize our research desk. Listen to our technical analysts identifying trends and patterns, gaining an unparalleled breadth of the markets. Interaction. Don't hesitate. Remember, we do not give investment advice. Nothing we say should be misconstrued as stock picks. But it is a comprehensive interactive environment, all at your disposal. Each morning, an invitation goes out, including the invitation, a lot of data that we have culled from the previous day's activity, as well as pre-market action. Check it out. It's called Shinesman's Morning Cheat Sheet. I'll go through it momentarily. Also included is Pepe's SPY analysis. Pepe, most proficient Fibonacci-based technicians, levels of support resistance, retracements, pivot points. It's so important in this market as money managers out there getting a little fearful out there, saying buckle up for another roller coaster. Several months could be as volatile for the stock market as last year, or even worse, as lawmakers are hemming and hawing, trying to avoid fiscal cliff at the end of this year. I don't know, sounds like a winner for us. Following Pepe, get to certain levels, of course, certainly interesting times as Spiders filled the gap, almost filled the gap by a penny. Following Pepe, Mark Melnick. Good morning, Mark. Mark Melnick, the author of Scalping for a Living. Fine, being the top broadcaster on the street. Also, one of the most consistent traders on the planet. That makes it the universe. Mark brings intensity, passion, patience. Well, I don't know about the patience. Guy's in and out of a trade. You know what? He punches those keys. He works at trades. And again, one of the most consistent traders on the street. He's out there to help, breaking down stocks on the fly, looking to resolve. Anticipation is key to this business. And that's where Mr. Shine, who's put this entity together, he is the captain of the ship. Call him Mr. Anticipation. Guy's made money up markets, down markets, sideways markets. One of the biggest traders on the street. One time, I tell you, he talks, you listen. That's it. Gain insight. Gain knowledge. Gain that feel. Gain the experience. Your learning curve will go parabolic as you participate in Shine's room. We'll do a little quick recap before we head into the cheat sheet. What do we see? We saw a little squeeze at the end of the day. Hooking the longs, hooking the shorts. Fifth straight losing session for the Dow, now off 3% since July 4th. Help on the way. What's Bernanke going to do? FOMC minutes came out yesterday. Officials see further easing is likely necessary. Several others favor new action only if their cover falters further. Treasury auction, $21 billion in 10-year notes at record low yields of 1.459%. Dow closed down. Nice bounce off the lows, down about 49 points. Nasdaq closed 14 and change. S&P's closed almost unched. The VIX closed down 0.3%. I'm sorry, 3%. Crude, gold, dollar. Look at that dollar. Breaks out to 52-week highs, although off the highs by about 13 cents at the moment. And economic news hit the tape already. Data. Overseas, you saw Eurozone industrial output actually month over month beat consensus. Portugal grew. Unexpected monthly growth provides a bit of light relief in otherwise gloomy prognosis. You had also initial claims on the revisement came in at 350,000 versus the 375 expected. It is a weekly report. Lists the number of newly filed jobless claims. Can be used as a predictor of the non-farm payroll release. Continuing claims misses slightly. Export prices came in at minus 1.4%. Import prices ex oil came in at 0.3%. I've got Treasury budget for June later this afternoon, 2 o'clock. Get to the earnings that hit last night. Chevron actually coming out, providing second quarter interim update outlining the performance of its E&P stock. It was trading up around 106. Right now down 36 cents, I guess due to the overall weakness in the market at the moment. Dragon Wave, DRWI, misses by 8 cents. Inline Rev. Marriott Hotel in line. Big miss last night was Super Value. Misses by 19 cents. Also misses on revenue. Shares getting hammered. I already put up the comps in chat. Build your watch lists. Certainly going to watch Whole Foods as maybe this taking business away from them nonetheless. We'll let price action dictate my actions, right? I'm not going to put my thoughts, beliefs on the stock. Otherwise, I'm seeing things not with an objective standpoint nonetheless. You see weakness in the supermarket names. Super Value also considered themselves considering selling all or part of the company, so just be cognizant of that. Texas Industries, TXI. I don't know if it's comparable. 215 versus a loss of 33 cents. Revenues miss. So TXI trading last up 95 cents. The stock did pull in about $1.40. So trying to recapture. Watch the steals. Nonetheless, commodities showing a little weakness due to strength in the dollar at the moment from my perspective. And of course, Infosys, INFY, crushed this morning. Anybody understand the gap and go trade? Maybe we'll discuss it. Maybe I'll discuss it during education. Yeah, I think I probably will. Down 450 at the moment. Why it's considered the easy trade. Make the easy trade. Nonetheless, INFY, earnings from that is one ugly chart. So, let's see what the action is. I don't expect any algo hijacking the name INFY. IBM possibly as a comp for today. Not saying it's definitive comp. I'm just watching some of the names related in the space because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find actionable ideas in this market in the middle of summer. Maybe PTI from a market cap standpoint. Wipro, WIT, CTSH, Cognizant Tech. Fastenal beats by a penny. Also beats on revenue slightly. Home Loan Servicing, HLSS. Fastenal's FAST, by the way. HLSS beats by a penny, also beating on revenue. Also, member in chat mentioning the restaurant stocks possibly off the supermarket names. So, creating a watch list today. Texas Roadhouse, BJRIs, maybe PF Chang's, CMG's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Red Robin. You know the names. Throw them out there. Darden Restaurants, Yum Brands. Can't say if they're going to go up or down. I'm just, you know what? Let the markets tell me. What's going on with Merck today? Merck's showing nice action as it punches to new highs. Merck Citigroup upgrading to a buy. Merck last night providing update on its phase 3 trial for their drug, CAT-K inhibitor. Nice fall through in GNOM. Johnny D all over that name. Early in the week, I know guys crushed it. It's very important. I know guys who missed out on it. And I got now guys who were positioned in it and got out of it. You have to determine your time frame. You can't chop yourself up. Stock's not going anywhere. Look at the big picture. Pull back and look at the big picture. Don't get caught up at times in the level 2. Seeing a big offer, punching it out because you're long. You think it's going to go down a couple pennies back and forth. You're not in it. There's nothing to tell you get in or out of that name off that big candle, the volume and the possible Bollinger Band squeeze on Monday. Stocks ebb and flow. They go up and down. That's what they do. Stay with your convictions. Big trades, big dollars. Don't want you missing out. Truly here to help. Okay. Let's get back to that cheat sheet. Earnings after the close. What we got? Not much. JDAS Software looking for 47 cents. CERE, recent IPO, I think, 33, looking for a loss of 33 cents. Nothing. Angiodynamics, remember that name? Back in the day. Tomorrow morning, though, you may want to play today. Watch the banks. Wells Fargo reporting tomorrow morning. Looking for 81 cents. Wells Fargo looking for 81 cents. JP Morgan Chase reporting tomorrow morning, 78 cents. And IGTE looking for 27 cents. Anybody watching that name? That was a nice setup yesterday. Take a look at that chart. IGTE pull back to the 200-day moving average, 1630. Although, little head and shoulder pattern setting up. Neckline comes in right at the 50-day SMA, 1560. So, what you going to do? Trades less than 500,000 shares. Hard to position. Stock is neutral, but for me, what I'm seeing on the weekly head and shoulder pattern, that to me is a 50-50 shot. So what do? Step off. Wait for things to resolve. Stories. Eurozone industrial output increasing. Bank of Japan left key interest rates unchanged. HBC talked about yesterday possible billion-dollar fines. Money laundering issues. J&J may be liable for almost $5 billion in damages to cover revision surgeries due to their Pinnacle metal hip replacement system. Hips. By the way, that's Stryker. Keep an eye on Stryker. Super Value reported earnings. Fastenal, Marriott, Texas. You see, starting to paint a picture here. The names over and over again. Carl Icahn's raising a stake in Navistar to almost 14%. National Grocers, pricing their IPO in the 13-15 range. Shares will trade on the symbol NGVC. Yeah, that's a good time to come out. National Grocers. Super Value gets smoked. Other IPOs, by the way, expected to trade next week. Dura Therapeutics, Fender Musical Instruments, FNDR. Anybody playing their guitar? Fender coming public. We'll get to those as we hit next week. Pre-market movers, bearish, bullish. Sort of painting the picture again. Where's the price action this morning as the markets are trading lower? Not many positive names. Genome being one of them. Merck, another one. Again, company-specific names. Watching the solars again, a little bit possible. Look at this. I'm going to watch a little solar action today, just because I can. VMware now negative. SAP, though, solidly higher. Oracle as well. Some bearish names again, focusing. Super Value. INFY. JP Morgan down 33 cents last print. Wells Fargo down 20 cents. Earnings tomorrow morning. Let's break down those charts during the course of the day as Wells Fargo, Buffett taking a massive position in Wells Fargo stock. Overhead resistance 33.70, sitting on mid-range. I'm sorry, this is sitting on VWAP support around 32.60. So Wells Fargo earnings tomorrow. All right, focusing now on the banks. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. FitB showing a little weakness. Miners getting crushed off the strength in the Dixie, along with the basic materials. Although you have a little bit of a bounce, little tiny positive action in heavy machinery stocks. Kramer talking about dividends. We're going to watch the IYRs. Commercial REITs hanging around their 52-week highs. If this market does turn around, watch for those names as they have led the markets. Typically, markets do turn around. You got to watch the leaders, the new leaders. So keeping a close eye on the REITs, dividend-oriented names. Standouts yesterday. Shine's bullish, bearish names to watch are names. Top percentage gainers and losers. See if there's follow-through or dead cat bounces or stocks in oversold conditions. Gap and goes. Verifone, nice company-specific headline. Insider buying stock. Some of the clean energy names holding well. Rock 10 pointed out earlier in the day. RKT up almost 5%. Packaging names certainly on the watch list today. Atwood, Deckers. Some weak names. Adtran, GG, Best Buy off of H.G. Greg's horrific earnings cut. PCYC under fire. Options give us an edge. We want to see where institutions place the directional as well as hedging bets. That's why we place them on the cheat sheet. Gives us an edge. Check out some of the names. Money flow. Stocks trading at 52-week lows. Stocks with over 30% short float. Stocks with low relative strength. Some data. If you're able to build your watch lists, check out some of the names. Shine's 100 list as well. Stocks just based upon our own experience that push through 80 have a tendency to gravitate towards 100. Doesn't mean that they are going to 100. Just means that we like to watch them for just on that thesis of 80 gets you 100. Just like 4 gets you 6 or 6 gets you 4. No upgrades, downgrades today. Red Hat with a 56 target. Recognize where Red Hat is trading below 50 or at 50. So about $6 away from where it's currently trading. Getting a downgrade. Adtran, Mizuho stepping out, sticking the neck out after earnings, lowering that target to 20. And of course, Shine's Traders Tidbit. Holding losers too long is what puts traders out of business. Holding losers too long is what puts traders out of business, creates psychological damage, and you end up being my waiter. Don't become my waiter. Stay in the business. Pepe. Marco, you want to take over?
Sure thing. Ah, there he is.
Oh, yeah, so I don't know why I was not getting the page. Okay. Give me 1 sec.
No worries, Pepe.
Okay, you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
All right. Good morning, all. Thank you. Thank you very much, Abel. Well, we have the spiders on this daily chart. Here you see, yesterday we point out this red dot here is the convergence of many trend lines, and this is where finally at least had to stop going lower. The spiders 133.38 was the low yesterday. Very important level, as you can see. You see the supported blue trend line here, and that is also a breakdown. That's why it's so important, this level. You see how it's wedging when you connect the 127.14 with the 130.85. That gives us another supportive trend line for a nice wedge, and this is what's going on now. So that 133.38, not to the penny, but it's exactly the area where the support slash a breakdown occurs. So very important. You see in the center of the chart the Fibonacci levels of the correction still playing, lost the 50% of the area, having lost the 134.68 area, and now still a little bit above 132.90, which represents for me is the ultimate support before considering this correction, more downside and a reversal. Rather, so far it's hanging in there. This is the perfect level, 132.90, to hold and still have some hope of another bounce back up. But below 132.90 is where, for me, the weakness starts, and something to be worried. So as you can see here, the channels, you can see how it's wedging. You see the descending light blue channel, the ascending blue channel that is trying to break that channel now. So along with the stochastic circle here down on the chart, so you see they already penetrated the 80 line level, and now they are coming down. So all of that is we are at that point of make or break. So let's quickly watch the hourly again. On the hourly, I have another measurement of the last leg, 130.85. And 137.51, and here this is a smaller picture, 133.39, yesterday 133.38, 1 penny of that important level to hold or to break down. So you can see here, yesterday we mentioned a break, still as a pattern. You see how it seems now that after breaking the half area of this channel is still sloping down, even with a nice bounce yesterday. But still there is a little bit more if they want to retest these lower trend lines here in the 132.50, 130.32 area. So let's move quickly to the 15-minute chart to see the intraday action. So you see here, intraday, you see this descending channel and the supportive connecting the lows the last 4 or 5 days, and those levels now 133.38 pre-market is being broken down. We have a gap fill 132.99. That's for a gap fill before. That's the day before the gap up for the spiders. 132.83, 132.70 as an area of some sort of support. The next one, 132.29, is if they want to move a little bit lower. This is an area for me of support. Along with, you have to watch this supportive lower trend line of the descending channel. So keep in mind 133.38 because it's yesterday low, and this is above the number. It may be some sort of recovery. Below, more weakness, breakdown mode, and you have the important 133.66, the 50-day simple moving average that now pre-market has been broken down, and this is the level to regain in order to move higher. Important level 133.66. Have that number in mind. Pivot point for today 134.05, a little bit far away now, but on a push up can be catch. Take a look at this white line like stairs. Those are the daily pivot points, and see how they work. Yesterday it was 134.68 and the high 134.60. The previous day, after the breaking down, it could not go through. It was in the 135.30 area. So you see, it's a 134.05 number to watch on a bounce back up. So we can start with the numbers, and now go with Mark. Good morning, Mark.
Thank you very much, Pepe. 8-ball. Thank you very much. Holding down the fort without me, sir. And I do miss you guys, and I do miss this market, because we might be walking into the next big thing. And we're going to discuss that here today. And right now in the pre-market now, we're going to take a look real quickly at Apple. And I'm just going to throw it on the screen here, and you just see exactly what's happening. Why is Melnick buying these Apple puts? We were talking about Apple, actually, when it was right over here in the 500, and, you know, we were actually talking about it in mid-June in the 570s, talking about how we could have a rally to 600 if we wanted to hit this overhead rising wedge resistance level. We broke it down. We came all the way then back up, just missed hitting 620, and then started breaking underneath this rising wedge support yet again. Remember, the day that broke the rising wedge was June 25th, and Apple basically plunged 7 points off of the open. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I am still holding those Apple puts, still holding the Genome calls. Not enough. It's never enough when you could scoop a name like that and catch it, but looking at this market here today, you're going to have to focus on potentially Apple breaking this rising wedge. That could bring further bearishness into the market. All right, I got 5 minutes. Let's just get right into my plays of the day. We're going to start here with Complete Genomics here this morning. That's Gary, Nancy, Oscar, Mary. Beautiful pop-up on that bull flagpole. Couple triggers I have for you guys today. $3.55 denoted right over here by your March 12th high. And a break of that level, you have over at daily resistance, 374 and 395 again. A little 20-cent moves, 30-cent stocks. Those are A-plus triggers. CSIQ, Charlie Sam, India Quest, up 16 cents here this morning. Level that I'm watching today, $3.84. $3.84 represents your June 20th high, and just looking for a breakout in these levels. It's a double daily top from February 29, 2012, and you could just see from June 20th from earlier this year as well. So a break of that level, you have over at daily resistance at $4. Maybe CSIQ tries to make a run for there. Affimax, Alpha, Frank, Yankee, up 89 cents or 7.4% here this morning. Level that I'm watching on Affimax today, $12.44, representing your July 10th high. And a break of that level, you run into my second trigger, 1271, with over at daily resistance, 1335. Beautiful ascending channel, bangs against support. I think the risk reward finally justifies itself in this name. Frank, Derek, Oscar, Family Dollar, down almost 3% here this morning. Level that I'm watching here today, $68.95 denoted right here by ascending channel support, and looking for this ascending channel to potentially break. That's on FDO. Research in Motion, Randy, India, Mary, just basically flat up 2 cents right now. Levels that I'm watching here in RIM, again, trading underneath the descending channel, is that bullish move potentially back into this bearish channel. That level, $7.60, representing yesterday's high, with overhead daily resistance at 783, and of course you get back within the channel on today right around 814, 813, 814 would be a creep back into that descending channel. So potentially big percentage move there if RIM tried to do that. Infosys, India Nancy, Frank Yankee, down $4.46. Level that I'm watching here today, $39.46. And have to pull a bigger chart. And that goes all the way back to July 22nd, 2009. So let's just go there real quick. And you could just see right here, July 22nd, 2009 low, 39.46. Potential gap fill to 38.87 with underlying daily support, 37.67. So that's an A-plus trigger there. And Infosys, keep an eye on that one. Procter & Gamble, Peter, Gary, up $1.55 or 2.5% here this morning. Level that I'm watching on Procter & Gamble is that double 62.75 top right there. So just looking right here at the name, the breakout level here today for Procter & Gamble is going to be, let's go all the way back here, And you could just see 62.75 key breakout level representing a double daily top here on your June 18th and 19th high with overhead daily resistance 63.67. Nice little B trigger there. And of course you got Apple. Level that I'm watching in Apple, again, the breakthrough yesterday's low 597.22 to have that rising wedge breakdown to the downside. I'm involved with these puts. I'm probably selling a few of them early on, but we'll see how it acts. Fifth Third, FITB. That's what happens when the fifth and the third largest bank merge together. Did you know that's how they got their name? Frank India Tango Bill down 7% here. Level that I'm watching, $13.07, representing your July 10th low. And a break of that level, you do have underlying daily support at $12.71. Nice little trigger there for FITB. And last but not least, Victor Harry Charlie. That's Vernet X Holding Corporation. Level that I'm watching here today is $38. 38 representing your July 5th high, and you get back to that doji star day where you cracked up to 39.31. So I'm going to watch that trigger closely again. $38 in VHC. We're just holding a little above there now. Happy trading, make money, and I will see you guys here on our live trading broadcast.
Cool beans, Mark. Spiders 35 cents away from filling the gap. Q's down 49 cents. Nice look on that Apple. Still watching OCR today. I'm watching some of the, if you can believe it, irrigation names due to the torturous weather out there, middle part of our country. So LNN, maker of irrigation names. VMI, provider of the piping. That's where my head's at right now. Good luck all. There's the bell. Market is open. Dixie 83, 88.5 last. JP Morgan hitting highs at the moment. Remember, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo reporting tomorrow morning. Home builders continuing to follow through for the third day in a row. On a weekly, Lennar working towards its 50% retrace around 2860. Story of the banks are reinstituting foreclosure notices, could signal a housing recovery. So be cognizant of that. Toll Brothers down 35 cents, MHO down 35 cents. Lowe's, Home Depot showing a little weakness this morning.
Took half the Apple puts off the table here. Still watching Genome. It just bumped against $3.20. Of course, watch 355, but going to see how this early strength relates in this name regarding some of the calls. You got BPI down.
Sorry about. Go ahead.
Got BPI down 11 cents. Watch for a breakdown level right here. That breakdown level, $12.80. That was the low of the big gap down day on July 10th. Yesterday it hit 12.81. Watch 12.80. That's BPI. Bill Peter, India.
It's a good look there. Goldman Hoop, Mark, thank you. DGX, Quest Diagnostics. Beautiful looking weekly chart at the moment. Weekly chart, you got a trigger, I would say. You're filling a gap. 62.32 on the name, representing weekly resistance on the name. You broke out a Bollinger Band resistance, 61.32.
It's a very nice look, and your overhead, that's actually 6-year highs for the name, so very important trigger that you labeled there, as well as, of course, the 52-week high. 64.44 is going to be your key resistance level after you break out there. That's going to be a break of the 6-year highs and would create 12-year highs. That's Derek Gary X-Ray.
OCR cracked just now. Back below. that ascending wedge. 3125 representing 20 EMA support. 3125 on OCR. Define the trades.
That Omnicare is also in a rising wedge right now. If you just take a look at that daily chart right there, you got underlying rising wedge support all the way down to 3103. So that would be a very critical breakdown level for the name. Watch it around that level, 3103, Oscar Charlie Randy.
I appreciate that, Mark. By the way, big trades so far already in the supermarket names off of SVU's earnings call. You got Safeway already down about 60 cents, 65 cents off the opening price. That's MOO, market on open order. Whole Foods trading down about 35 cents. Kroger came in about 30 cents.
Apple blipped through 600 and bounced back up quickly as expected with such a key psychological and whole number level. But just watch this Apple. It's for me, like something very big is going to happen soon here in Apple. Just based on level 2 action right now, if we're able to hold that $600, this stock could explode for a potential gap fill and carry this market up with it. If we start breaking below $600 again, it's only going to be so much that the bulls could take, and this stock could collapse. And what would I consider a collapse in it today? Between 583 and 594 as a potential target. So just looking for a 1 or 2%, 3% maximum drop.
Wow. VHC, nice heads up earlier in chat. Sign an agreement. VHC, boy oh boy, hitting 52-week highs, approaching 52-week highs, 41.77. Taking out 90-day highs at the moment. VHC. Seeing refiners bouncing off of CVX's second quarter guidance. That's CVX. WNR, TSO positive, ALJ positive. Nice call on that DGX. Continues to push a little higher. Refiner still showing some strength.
$62.01 is a minor trigger, but brings you to multi-month highs right here on DGX. $62.32 key breakout level. $62.01 your next trigger. Bought some VHC here with a 10-cent risk. Stop 39.09.
Treehouse Foods trading just shy of the lows of the day. That's THS. TFM having a tough time getting through that whole number. You tried to squeeze it up just now. TFM breaking exponential daily support at 54.95. Working around these supermarket names today. Kroger down 3/4. Little stealth name. Anybody raise their hand? Harris Teeter Supermarkets, HTSI. Very thin name, 4,000 shares traded. Can't get real positioned out, but stock's had some run over the last 2 years. So
Affimax right now is busting out here today highs. Alpha Frank Yankee just shooting up, just blasted through my second trigger even. You're running into key overhead resistance right now. You actually have a very powerful trigger that is actually an A+ trigger. $13.55 right around the corner for that Affimax.
nice bounce to Soro, WNR, Valero positive, CVX hanging in there. Morgan Stanley at the high of the day. Arch Coal, interestingly enough, high of the day highs. Dow's down 83, comp down 28. Dixie working about 7 cents off the highs of the year. Not 2012, the last 52 weeks. Seeing coal names catching bids. CVX pushing still new highs. BTU at the high of the day. Walter goes unchanged. Interesting. Refiners. WNR now 35 cents higher. Tesoro 35 cents higher. Valero. Big early trades in the refiners. To the long side. Dow bounces 10 points. Total hitting highs. CVX at the highs. Money flowing, rotating into the drillers.
Keeping an eye on this Starwood Hotel symbol HOT, digesting just under the whole number, down almost 5%. HOT.
Yeah, Marriott's having a tough day after reporting earnings. Inline guidance. Builders turning to the upside. Holly Corp, HFC, Holly Frontier up 12 cents. CVX now up almost a full stick. Tesoro, Valero, WNR now up 40 cents. CVI is not participating along with MRO and Sun. Seed with a considerable pullback off of recent highs. SEED. DGX approaching the hole. There, trades at the holes. DGX. No fear in trading. LNN, VMI, weak. Spider's trading a dime away from filling the gap. JP Morgan down at 40 cents. Wells Fargo down 35 cents. Earnings pre-market tomorrow morning.
Sold half my DGX, stop 61.89. DGX, stop 61.89.
As these diagnostic names coming in off their highs. AFFY also nice action. Diagnostic name. Life Technologies down 55 cents. I got Thermo Waters.
DGX stay high.
It's a great call, Goldman Who. Thank you.
Yeah, and what I've noticed just watching the level 2 in this DGX is that you have a heavy buyer, and he's not really too good at masking what he's doing because he's not putting in multiple price levels. The dude was just chilling, if you will, down at 61.94 and 61.92, hence the stop right under the 90-cent level. And, you know, in terms of jumping in front of this guy and risking a nickel, you know, the stock already shot up a lot, and you are likely to get a retracement, but the risk reward could still justify itself in a situation like this. Did you see what they just did to that $62 whole number? 30,000 shares. They wiped him clean like he didn't belong there. So just keep that in mind. Stock still looks very strong to me on the 5 and on the level 2.
Thank you, Mark, on that. You just had a stop orders getting taken out of the market as the gap was filled. 132.90 acting as a 38.2% last corrective leg. So stop what is taken out on those spiders. I got the ascending channel, short-term ascending channel. When I say short-term, started at the middle part of May, has been broken.
And Apple just went through $600 yet again after busting out through day highs, just came all the way down near its lows. So that's Apple. Q's just small bounce right now off 62.15, its day lows as well.
I think, Mark, they knocked out those, the stop orders below 99 cents, as low as the 132.81, back to that 90 cents. I'm seeing real relative strength in these coal names at the moment. Walter now bounced about 35 cents. BTU's positive. A&R, Arch Coal are positive. Refiners, Whippy. Valero goes negative. Nonetheless, Tesoro, WNR, CVX, all positive. Not trying to fight the tape.
Remember what we were talking about Apple as it keeps breaking through 600. This could be very dangerous for Apple. Apple, every time you see this break of 600 so far, you see the buyers come in and pop it up 40, 50 cents. Just keep an eye on this Apple because this 600 battle is definitely a fight that's still going on. And if the Bears do win this one, I would expect a large down move in Apple today, further from where it's down right now, and followed by, of course, a lower move in the triple Qs and spiders. So this 600 is the crucial level, not only for Apple, but for, in my opinion, the markets to hold right here.
It's a good call, Mark. It is a key spot, no doubt. Bob S., nice heads up on that Lexmark printer. Kroger at the highs. I know that mentioning this Kroger as a possible reversal on that pullback. Dow's down 102, comp down 37 3/4.
A lot of hyper scalping done. Just threw my position box up.
Win getting smoked. Vegas names getting roasted today. LVS down $1.50, even with the upgrade from Cantor a couple days back.
$62.14, $62.15. Just about a double 5-minute top right there on DGX. You do have a very tight speed line right here as well, which it could easily break down from if snapped. That breakdown right now is through 61.92. That's the level to your key level of support right here, and that's the level to break if you want to push this DGX lower. So very good risk reward at these levels too.
OCR approaching 5-minute mark.
500.
Sorry about that. OCR approaching 5-minute SMA resistance. I wanted to follow back on the casinos. Casino stocks opening lower. Report out from Nevada State Gaming Board. Gambling revenue fell in May. LVS, MGM, MPEL, and Wynn. CZR as well. Sorry about that.
Acorn breaking down right now. That's AKRX trading at day lows.
Just broke 1594 hourly support, so it just ran in the volume to that support level, so you'll usually have a bear flag digestive bounce over the hole when that happens.
After Super Value's earnings, Fresh Market trading about 90 cents off the opening price. To the downside, putting a possible last gasp doji, the previous 5-minute candle, could signal a reversal. That's TFM. Sitting right now on 54 and a quarter.
I got Facebook on a bullish engulfing 5-minute candle right now, trading at day highs. Overhead 15-minute resistance, 30.99. That's hourly resistance as well. And a potential push for a test. That's Facebook, FB. Seeing a hard pulling through day lows right here. We're talking about an interesting level in Cena recently. That level was 46.86. We just hit 47.02. That is going to be my first line of defense right here for Cena. And that Cena defense actually goes all the way back to like September 16, 2010. So you're hitting like a very serious support level there for Cena. I mean, if a support level like that starts to break, you could really get rolling. For me, I try to interpret the perfect storm scenario. I want to see a break of 46.86, maybe a quick flush, the stock finds support, and then maybe a bounce in this Cena. So that's Sam, India, November, Andrew, approaching critical support level, your December 16th low, 46.86.
Wells Fargo off the open. Thesis still working here in Shine's room. Earnings to be reported tomorrow pre-market. Now trading 30 cents off the open. JP Morgan, JPM. Stock reporting tomorrow morning. Trading down 23 cents off the open. 1,000 shares equals $530. $530 on that news is a heads up.
Apple hitting day lows. How about those puts from yesterday? If anybody is still holding those puts that we were scooping, you know, $2.20, $2.50, those puts just doubled. That's your weekly puts on Apple just exploding right now, right through $5. Hope you guys are still holding a little piece of it. So it was a nice little trade there.
Joe K trading around the coal names. Brooks watching Baidu. Peter working Apple. Common. By the way, LVS on a 230-day chart just filled its gap going back to October 5th of last year. LVS. Problem is that Marriott, you know, cutting revenue doesn't help these casino hospitality names. So just be cognizant of that. But nonetheless, LVS filling the gap.
This Affimax AFFY is held up relatively strong, up 10%. AFFY.
Took off another Apple put, just holding 3 now.
Gold names hitting lows of the day. Dixie trading 83.88 still. About a dime off of 52-week highs, but nonetheless breaking out of a flag formation. Let's see what happens. We said, I said today would be a very interesting day. Thought possibly an upthrust on the candle, and we pulled back underneath. Who might have fight Ray Dalio? Manages $125 billion. Likes the dollar alongside Texas Industries coming off the high, still up $1.95. TXI bucking the aggregates, bucking the steels.
As long as Apple remains under 600, in my humble technical experience, whatever opinion, this market is not going to be able to recover. Apple over 600 is when you could, for at least myself, that's when I start to think bullish. But right now, as long as Apple is down here, why am I going to be bullish when one of the biggest market leaders are just dragging down through day lows and breaking key support levels? It's just technically illogical to, think bullish here, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get some names having bullish moves. That's just the overall picture. Look at Yum Brands with the beautiful explosion here to the upside off of day lows over at daily resistance 63.13. That's Yankee Ultra Mary.
Yum Brands, yeah, we're watching these restaurant names off the supermarket names, see what happens. LVS mark, by the way, possible hammer formation, trying to set up for the 5-minute engulfing pattern also as well. Again, Vegas names lower off the report. Still Cantor out there sticking their neck out, upping the names yesterday. LVS using both heads of the previous candles, 39.58 stop. But it's still working around this level. 132.90 being the 38.2% last corrective leg. GNOM working back towards the whole number. GNOM. NEOM. Oh my gosh, NEOM came back to my levels. That's unbelievable. 740 pulls back to 8. Multiple day support right there. The 25th, the 26th, the 28th. This is my number. You wait. You know what? Patience is a virtue, right? Money grows in the tree of patience, Melnick.
Yes, I apologize for that. I had my mic on. GNOM right now just had a perfect gap fill to 293 and is now popping up here again. Just keeping a close eye on that as well. These Apple puts still going alongside here as Apple is crashing this market lower. Look at Apple. Welcome to Shine's Room. I hope you guys appreciated that little rising wedge formation. And again, you didn't really have to risk a lot to have a nice little trade on the table. So these Apple puts exploding. I had 24 of them. That could have been a $10,000 trade, but go figure, huh?
Oh, Omnicare on a 5-minute rising wedge nonetheless. Let's see what happens here. The market's still down at 90 points. Spiders just amazing, right, Peter? Takes a little while. Patience as spiders fill that gap. Pretty ugly stuff yesterday. After 15 minutes into the close, spiders trade 134.16 on the close. Navistar strong on Icon's increased purchase.
Yeah, it was a nice look on Facebook. I just caught a very small short in the name when it was hitting day highs there, but it's still a very bullish formation. Beautiful look on the 5-minute. Overhead daily resistance, 31.56. Look for a breakthrough right here, potentially. That's Facebook, FB.
Fastenal for Verning's hitting highs. You got X hitting lows. Texas Industries, steel name, bouncing a little bit. Mark this NEON, Neon Node, right? Swing traders, position traders, you know, you're buying the first tranche, second tranche. You see how, you know, it's almost, you're fighting the trend. It's a more difficult trade, but this level on NEON, unbelievable. NEON 574 stop. Procter Gamble showing strength today. 10 o'clock. ASIO top dollar gainer on the day, followed by Dust. That's the inverse for gold. VHC, the patent. GWW, Procter Gamble. ZSL inverse for silver. Priceline down 10. Apple down 7. ISRG down 7. INFY off of earnings. CEO, EDC, Chinese names negative. Approaching 10 o'clock. Dow's down 81 now. Comp is down 37.80. Spider's working around that 38.2 retrace. Algo's working levels. Just got along that OCR 31.53. Remember 31.25 key critical support OCR. OCR bounces almost to the penny off its short-term EMA support. Still inverse head and shoulder pattern. Blipped up yesterday on rumors of more consolidation in the Medicaid health space. 31.92 gets it back above that neckline.
Market coming down heavy right here. Q's trading at day low. Spiders just made lows at 132.77. Remember, underlying daily support for your spiders today, 131.28. Pepe has a lot of great levels in between, but that's your underlying daily support right now for your spiders. Q's underlying daily support, 61.54. And that doesn't really mean I think it might go there. It's just that I prepare for these levels to be hit. And for me, the preparation on a day like today is as long as Apple is under 600, to me, that's your that's your bearish risk reward. The closer Apple is to 600, the better your risk reward is. And as long as it remains under, I mean, I don't see any reason for the market leader dragging the market down in this market getting a bounce without Apple. So just some thoughts.
Just got stopped out Neon 5,000. Revisit. LVS holding on.
Got a little bit of a potential hammer bar for it. If this stock could close around 578 to 580, on this 5-minute candle, you'll put in a nice hammer bar. And granted, you're waiting the next 2 minutes and 10 seconds for that information, but what it does is it allows you to just watch it again, where you might even potentially want to re-enter a name like this and take a similar risk reward again, depending on how it's setting up.
Yeah, this is the type of trade where I'm not in it for 14 seconds or 14 minutes, maybe 14 days. Buying strong stocks on pullbacks, determining my time frame. This business is about managing your losses. OCR, already 11 cents. Affirmex announces supply agreement for their injection. Stock is showing strength. DGX pulls in about a quarter. Big story of the day, though. Supermarket names and related. SVU cutting massive guidance cuts. Whole Foods, Walmart, TFSM, THS, HTSI, SVU, SWY, and Kroger.
Google trading at day lows, underlying daily support 564.94. That is going to be a pretty large trigger there for Google, with underlying daily support at 557.21. So crucial trigger here for Google, 564.94, just 70 cents away. Taking a look at Duke Energy here, just kind of interesting, obviously, off of that huge pop-up. What was the reason for the gap up? Was it a reverse split or something? I don't really see the volume on July 3rd to justify movement like that, but nonetheless, underlying daily support for Duke, 64.52, 65.56 is your first level of resistance, and since the high and the low of the name, you've been, popping up a little nicely off the lows. So for me on a formation like this, with such limited amounts of information, if you will, I just try to play this thing versus underlying daily support, but technically speaking, the volume would be justifying digestive potentially flagpole here. And if it were to digest lower, you would find support 65.56, 65.05. That's Duke Energy. Breakout to the upside, $66.86, and it's closer to there with overhead daily resistance, 67.96. So trigger to the upside, 66.86. To the downside, 65.56, just yesterday's high and low.
Jobless claims plunging to a 4-year low. Sprott coming out saying sees gold 22% rally to record. That's Sprott. He says gold will climb to a record by year-end as the global economy slows from the weight of too much debt. Founder of Sprott Incorporated. Talking up his book, but that's okay.
Very interesting move here in Sturm Ruger right now with heavy volume through $40. Just broke a key trigger, 39.23 underlying daily support. Take a look at Smith & Wesson putting in, a digestive bear flag pattern right now. Smith & Wesson hasn't followed through yet like Sturm Ruger, and Sturm Ruger just collapsed on that bar. So keep an eye, SWHC and RGR. Apple, Delos. Man, sold those too early.
Well, listen, pizza sharp stick in the eyes, we like to say here in Shine's room. Going back to the gold, PHYS is the physical for gold. That's Sprott, PHYS. Keep an eye on that nugget. Mark, can you believe it? NUGT. Back to $8. It was just 14. You understand? Doji Star on May 16th. Trade as low as 769. Do you understand where this thing is? I know it's below all multiple averages.
I could tell you where this name is going regardless of the price of gold.
Zero?
Zero. That's correct. If it approaches zero, though, they'll start doing ridiculous reverse splits and they'll pump it up again. They'll just keep pumping it with steroids until it explodes. But it is a triple hedge thing, and when GLD pulls down and GLD shoots up, I mean the underlying value for this thing just gets decimated. So yeah. To me, it's a short-term instrument. It's a short-term instrument for an intraday hedge or an intraday trade. But I would never recommend holding long a triple hedge thing. In fact, I would only recommend holding it short, triple hedge thing. But the problem is when you short names like this, not only do they try to make it difficult for you to short, but you usually have to pay full dollar amount and you can't take it on margin, which really gives a big advantage to proprietary traders.
I want to go back to what Sprott had said. The guy's made predictions, somewhat accurate. May 2011, he said gold would rise to 2000. March 2008, he said banking stocks would collapse. Remember Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers? Says we have a fundamental problem in the sovereign banking system in the world. But nobody has any conception of how bad it is. You know what? Dollar and a dream, Marco. Dollar and a dream.
Taking a look at Questcor right now, Questcor Pharmaceuticals, you notice the volume tapering off. What that tells you is if the volume tapers off, it is less likely that the stock rips through 41.53 to the downside, at least in the short term. The volume tapering off insinuates that the bear flag pattern potentially does not want to come through just yet. It needs to rest and rehabilitate. So with that information, I would look for potential bullish moves in Questcor, especially if you have a short-term time frame. Again, know your time frame. Longer term, it looks bearish. You have a bear flag. Shorter term, you have a potential bear flag digestive pattern. So taking a look right now at the 5-minute chart, overhead 5-minute resistance, 44.02. Stock looks like it's putting in, yes, you said it, a bearish rising wedge. And since it opened up the bar below this rising wedge, you might get a pop right here to 43.60 where I'll find resistance. But this is a bearish breakdown and look for potential breaks through day lows as this rising wedge potentially resolves bearishly.
Pepe 132.63, interesting level. Number of the refiners coming in very hard. CVX pulling in, not too much. But WNR, Valero, Tesoro, big pullbacks over $0.50 a piece. Pepe pointing out 132.63, an important level to watch. Why is it so important, Pepe?
Yoku, nice bounce off the lows. You have a beautiful rally in Yoku, and you look at a chart like Yoku right now in the daily, and you ask yourself, how the heck is a name like this going up today? Look, bear flag pattern, volume tapers off. You have a bullish digestive move to the upside. Know your time frames on every single name you play. A bear flag digestive pattern a lot of times can be a very nice bullish move. However, when you zoom out on the chart, if your time frame is longer, you could still keep your goals intact, but just interpret these things coming.
AZO just ripped another 4. Story early this morning. Citigroup liking the improving industry trends. AZO. Remember AAP, ORLY, PBY.
Citigroup trading at day lows, showing a little weakness in some of these banks at the moment. You got Goldman Sachs pushing through day lows as well. JP Morgan just trading right by the day lows, and Bank of America, of course, just a penny off its lows right now. A lot of weakness in the banks. Apple showing weakness here as well. Just keep an eye on these markets. I mean, we might have a further down move, and until something suggests otherwise, I'm just keeping a bearish stance.
Neon, what a bounce just now. I didn't want to. Oh my gosh, man. Ran right.
NEON's patented multi-sensing technology that includes the Neo node, always on and proximity features.
Dude, I just
into Alpine's
killed it.
in-vehicle infotainment system products.
Killing it.
Used under NEON.
On a 1 minute, I saw what's called a it was like a cleanup
Dragon
print.
Wave shares fall in weak result.
Stopped out. Doji star formation. Marco.
I see. Yeah, it's nice. Very
Doji star
nice.
formation on the 1004 cleanup print. Guy took them out on the daily basis. They took everybody underneath it. Ran right into the 50-day moving average to the penny. Took them out. So,
What was the news?
8-ball buying? No, I'm kidding you. Signs long-term license agreement with Alpine for next generation in-vehicle touch infotainment systems. And his NUGT. This is what
Jack.
I was just saying. This is where the discretionary type of trading. This is where this market is certainly using technicals for sure, but this is where the experienced trader comes into play. This is where, if you're new to the business, and that sense of feel, and times where you've blown your account up, you've come back, you've blown it up, you've worked it, you see it, you feel it. This is the strength of our intensive education. Take advantage. Sign up now. I know a number of you have already inquired. I appreciate it. Thank you. Continue. We're running it from the 23rd to the 27th, including the 36-day intensive. Discretionary trading, it's a feel. And if it's something that you're missing, or maybe hopefully we're able to articulate it and ability to interpret it, take advantage. Because I'm talking thousands upon thousands of dollars being made just now.
It was a sick call there. It was a nice look. Magic Jack is approaching $20 on a bear flag digestive pattern, which means I might want to use that 20 as potential resistance right here. That's Charlie Alpha, Larry.
Vegas names are still showing weakness. DJX back almost to the whole number. DJX, nice pullback.
You know what's crying up higher right now? This Tier Lab Corporation, Tango Edward Alpha Randy with a beautiful breakout right here. Just triggered through 359, 381, and 404 over at daily resistance. Tango Edward Alpha Randy up 15%.
Mark Nugget overhead resistance coming in at $8.27 for me, and it's also, that would be a break of a descending channel. AutoZone just ripped another $2.50 off of Citigroup. AAP positive now in the day. ORLY lagging. PBY, SPW, maker of automotive tools.
MSON adds industry veteran to management team.
Yep, now
Michael Sam Oscar November.
I'm watching the hourly on NUGT now. Didn't break yesterday's lows. It's a tell for me. Pepe, thank you for the heads up. The daily chart on the chart chat. I'm downloading it now.
LG Display and AU Optronics in a settlement. Florida AG alleging price fixing in TFT-LCD panel makers.
Got weakness out there in the retail space. A&F down over $1.50. Lululemon down almost 2. FDO getting cut today, down 267. Target down a quarter. Walmart down 50 cents now. But PriceSmart, after reporting earnings, $59, 67.60, positive on the day. But nonetheless, PriceSmart running into overhead resistance right here around $68 based on the daily chart. Bollinger Band as using multiple days earlier this month as overhead resistance. So got in there at the highs. PSMT 67.96, stock still up a quarter on the day.
It's a nice looking Orexogen. Just keep in mind it just filled its gap, I believe, right here. So, you know, it could go either way from here. A lot of times after a gap fill, you get a reversal. So just be very careful here. Yeah, and you see exactly what happened on that Affymax. The reason for the bullish call here was this ascending channel that we had drawn in the stock, and it's just really shines room 101. So for me to really look for this trigger today was not really difficult, but I do need to point out this level right here, $13.55. That is going to be a tremendous trigger, just a penny away from the offer right now. So keep an eye on it. It just shot up through that trigger. And you had the huge volume spike, and now it's digesting on a bull flag pattern. So it's a very bullish breakthrough for Alpha Frank Yankee. Starwood Hotels in effect right now, trading at day highs. Harry Oscar Tango now down only $1.72, trying to go for the gap fill. Look for a potential approach of $50. That's Harry Oscar Tango.
Nice call out there by Scotty on that HOT earlier. I got UNG hitting highs of the day.
It's a nice look there, and it's doing in on a bit of volume there too. Just broke through 1951. It triggered through yesterday's high. Overhead daily resistance and your next A-plus trigger, $19.76. Ultra Nancy Gary.
Thank you, Mark. Texas Industries now up 230. I've got Martin Marietta, a sympathy play, along with Texas Industries, up $1.20. Interestingly enough, you got Eagle Materials after getting that downgrade, still hanging just on its EMA short-term daily support. EXP down 10 cents, very stealth name. Remember CX also cement name down 19 cents, nice pullback.
Just going back to this Google here real quickly. It just went through 564.94 and it was just bouncing and fluttering on this level right here. You have all these big major names hitting day lows. You can find smaller names in these smaller sectors hitting day highs, but for the most part, we are heading lower still as Apple does still remain underneath 600. I don't know how long it will or how long it won't. We'll have to follow this market, but again, still keeping that bearish sentiment. This Google right here could potentially collapse to 557.21 because that's underlying daily support. So it's a very major trigger here, and a lot of buyers are stepping in and trying to save this Google here. But if these buyers can't do it, this could be a good night for Google. It would represent even further weakness in the market.
Good heads up. Way to stay with your convictions, Mark. I've got retailers hitting lows, cloud computing names getting smoked. FF5E down 3, VMware. This Vim was recently given a $100 target, although lowered. Akamai is weak, no deal. Rumors of a deal yesterday. IBM down 275 off that the Infosys earnings. INFY, one of the big losers on day, down 467. IBM discussed as a comp to that INFY, down over $1.50 from the opening price. Sympathy plays, pin action plays, working beautifully in this market. Beautifully. SVU gets smoked off of earnings. What do I do first thing? I'm looking at every comp within that space. Planets aligning enough for me without hesitation, putting on shorts. I get squeezed out to find my trade. I may have to re-enter and revisit because my thesis is working. So big numbers, big money being made off of comp plays, off of sympathy plays when companies are cutting their earnings. Worked beautifully yesterday in HG Greg, Best Buy, and Cons in AAN.
Yeah, it's a nice move there in Sunshine Hard. Stock went up 30% off its lows today, doing quite well here. Overhead daily resistance, obviously 17.25, but you have overhead hourly resistance right around the corner, 1480. That's SSH.
I got nat gas coming out in 4.5 minutes. That's pretty funny. Anyway, we are in the midst of the Melnick hour as we are down 94 points on the Dow, 12,510. Comp is down 43, 2844 last. Dixie working still close to its 52-week highs. Coal names, I don't know what it's been. Is this typical action? They gap up a little bit in the morning and then they just give it back. Nonetheless, you have weakness in the commodities due to the strength in the dollar. General weak economic conditions overall. And the emerging markets also showing weakness. The Indian rupee, certainly the tell for me when it comes to trading gold.
Yeah, I think it was this early weakness in the market was very easy to see as you saw Apple constantly banging against 600. First thing we talk about is watch out. The bulls might not be able to hold on. Who knows? Maybe we get a bounce back to 600, maybe we don't. But just to know where the major players that move the markets are trading, and you see Apple right now, take a look at Apple here on the daily. This is one of the most bearish formations you could see. I mean, keep in mind, officially, this is a bear flag pattern with a rising wedge breaking. You know what kind of target this thing would have if it had a bear flag continuation pattern? Its for next target would be $522, and for a breakthrough of similar proportions on the previous bear flag, you would look for a move maybe to around $475. So again, that would predict a lot of bearishness to come, but technically it's what Apple is singing right now. It just broke down. I'm sure it's not going to be one big move of $100. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pops and a lot of drops, but resolving right now and the way it looks right now from a completely technical perspective, bear flag, bearish rising wedge, planets aligning. This is where you short Apple, or even better yet, where Peter was looking to short Apple right here as the stock was hitting rising wedge resistance.
So here we go. Mark, great way to look at the market objectively, staying with your conviction. Volatility is increasing. Markets hate indecision. Recognize it. It's great for us. We embrace it. We have to embrace it. Don't be fearful of it. GlaxoSmithKline GSK withdraws supplemental NDA for its Tykerb something combo. GSK down $1.13. DGX was this highs for the day.
It's a very nice look there on DGX. Got stopped out a couple times in it early on, but it still looks bullish here. I still love the way it looks on the daily chart right now. You're approaching critical levels. Your next critical level is going to be right over here, $62.83. That's going to represent a potential, 2.5-year high in the name. So DGX 62.83, your next very important resistance level and trigger.
Gas inventories.
33 for Nat Gas, above the 27 estimate, a bigger build than expected.
UNG plummeted.
About a 70-cent drop in UNG. RRC is another sympathy trade. Romeo Romeo Charlie with Nat Gas.
Points out Romeo Charlie. Nice. $55 key support on that RRC based upon recent trading. SWN, WLL been relatively weak. CLR approaching descending channel support. Concho, EOG. Refiners getting smoked now. Metals. Nuggets still holding 8.17. Way to go, Pete.
Long UNG, very tight stop. And my position's up just scalping this thing, but it is a bear flagpole, keep in mind.
Listen, Pete, never easy, man. Is it easy sometimes? It's very hard to make money, but you know what? Stay with the convictions. Great job. But back in the day, a buddy of mine's father traded against Sumitomo Bank. Guy's probably not the biggest copper metals trader out of Canada. A lot of business in London as well. This is going back over a decade. He took on Sumitomo Bank for 3 weeks. He said he didn't sleep. He made $90 million. Ultimately, Sumitomo had to repay $150 million. He took a $4 billion loss. He was on the other side. Guy is no joke. So you don't sleep for 3 weeks and you make $90 million.
At least he could afford a nice bed after that to catch up on his sleep.
Guy lives in a house in Montreal. About $150 million worth of just artwork in the house. I sat down. There's a Rodin on the tabletop. He's like, touch it. Just feel the curves on it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's a Rodin? All right, I'll do that. Guy hangs with George Soros, Julian Robertson. No joke. And I'm hanging with you, Melnick. Kevin Bacon. 6 degrees of separation.
I'm hanging with you. Yeah, I'm hanging out with you and Pepe. George who? He hangs out with?
Soros.
Don't know him. I'd rather hang out with Pepe and 8-Ball.
That's a party right there. So Spider's working around that 38.2 retrace. Nugget trading hourly highs. Or, I'm Mark. You know I hate to lose 5 cents in a stock. You know it, right?
Don't we all?
5 cents.
It's a tight ship.
It's a total counterintuitive. Planets have yet to align, but we shall see. Looking on the hourly on NUGT. You see anything?
Sure, one moment.
No problem. Family Dollar. You pay today $66.80 for a share of stock. Yesterday you were paying over $70. A couple dollars off. Dollar Tree, DG, Costco, Sympathy Place. Price Smart pulling in about 50 cents off of some serious overhead resistance from a daily perspective. Dave D may need a couple more screens. Just kidding. Texas Industries up $3. MLM up $1.20. I've got builders catching bids. I got them catching bids. I got Meritage green. I've got Ryland green. I've got Lennar going positive. Lagging behind, Toll Brothers, DHI. XHB down 18 cents.
I'm looking at this nugget. You said hourly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at this nugget right here, what you have right now, the 5-minute is actually very interesting as well because you got a little bit of an ascending formation right here. Nothing really major, but it's, it's off of a bear flag formation right here. So I'm looking for that continuation to the downside and a rip through day lows. Not a break, a rip. That's what a bear flag continuation pattern would insinuate here.
I appreciate it. I just came in a fast dime. Fast. Nike retailers getting smoked. Nike, Lululemon. Apple down at 9.5. Oh boy. SanDisk giving up a stick already. Rumors of SanDisk as a takeout. Remember when there was Rax was a takeout, 20 points higher. Keep your focus. Keep your disciplines. It's so important. Neonode trading 9 cents away from its opening print. After cleaning up hammer formation on the hourly in the process. Stock was trading too strong at 6.16 yesterday. Too strong. Good heads up on MBI. Dan pointing out MBI, possible settlement with Bank of America. Key support 950, 960, 960 SMA 50. Running into the 200 at 999 on MBI. Works its way into a gap around through 1050. Just define your trade.
I thought today was a very easy bearish read here. I mean, Apple is still giving us all the signs. Being very prepared for a situation like that really helps your conviction because if you're short, let's say anything, and you don't want obviously the market to rip up, you could just throw Apple on one of your level 2 boxes off to the side and just keep an eye on it. See what Apple is doing because the market is being dragged down alongside with it. You got Goldman Sachs now joining the fun, hitting day lows. Citigroup had a nice little bounce here off its day lows, but might be in a little bit of trouble here. JP Morgan with a nice little bounce as well. Just keep an eye on some of these names as the Qs are making fresh day lows. Apple, 5 cents off its low.
Tremendous follow through in these education names. Again, since BPI is losing initial accreditation. Apollo down another 80 cents mark. APOL, boy oh boy. 4 days, hitting Bollinger Band support right now. APOL, 3167. On daily Bollinger Band support. DeVry, ESI, LOPE has yet to LOP just starting to roll over at 20. Just broke exponential support at $21. LOPE.
Yeah, and I'm still holding those BPI puts. Peter, did you get filled on that Apple? Great job.
MBI, nice read there.
I took off one of the puts right now. I'm down to one Apple put here, but remember when we were talking about that big follow through to the downside in Apple? Just such a great technical read here. So many great names, even from those genome calls. Between the Apple puts and the genome calls, we're really just a step ahead of everyone because we do technical analysis further out and we just break it down and we know our levels. And just to catch a move like Apple, and this is just like magnificent. 3,000 I made the other day from the puts, and now just following through and making some more money today. So it was just a really, really great call in this Apple, now down $11.
Education name LOPE 2102, representing EMA short-term resistance. Trading on the lows of the day. LOPE. Straight down $1.60. Great heads up mark on that nugget. Say a little whoosh down. It's a 16-cent pullback.
Took my genome calls off the table. It was a 400% gain overall. It marks me as negative, but I did pay a dime for those calls. Yeah, it actually went negative, and that's where I said I'm getting rid of the call. So I'm out of the genome calls. Just holding one Apple put, a Vertex call, and 5 BPI puts, and I'm flat right now. Why am I flat right now? Well, it's not really that I'm bullish now at the moment. I do think we could get another form of drop. We're trying to potentially put in a bear flag continuation pattern right here on the triple Qs, and the triple Qs really just kept getting beaten up and beaten up. There was no reprieve. There was no just a rest yet for the market, and we're already almost approaching 11 o'clock. The bearish sentiment was there. The technicals was there. Apple breaking key rising wedge support. Do longer term, if I was looking for a swing in Apple, the next target I'm looking at is $522. Again, it's not really an overreaction until right over here. I would say you're going to find your next key level of support around $577. That's when I might be a short-term bull on Apple. So I don't mind playing it short and long through this entire down move and through the little pops. There's money in both directions in a name like this, and the beautiful read on the rising wedge, breaking it lower, market goes right alongside with it.
Apple.
Got Constellation Brands shooting up here at the moment. That's Sam Tango Zebra with a bullish engulfing on bar on the daily right here. Overhead daily resistance and trigger $28.16. That's Constellation Brands Sam Tango Zebra.
About an hour ago, about 33 million insured exposure to San Bernardino. There was reports pre-market under MBI that settlement may be near on regulator prodding.
So Apple puts nearly quadrupled in value right now, those weeklies, so wow.
Tyson Foods about 40 cents off its opening print. Supermarkets getting roasted. HTSI little stealth. It used to be called, what was it? Harris Teeter Supermarket. It's a southern supermarket name based actually out of Germany. They had a symbol switch, HTSI trading about 75 cents off its opening price. Wells Fargo in front of earnings down 37 cents. JP Morgan down 47 cents in front of earnings.
Got AT&T dialing lower right now. 34.42 underlying daily support and trigger for it. That's letter T. Tango retailer showing further weakness as well. Look at JCPenney. You know what that is? What is that? 10, 11 red bars in a row. Big pull down here for JCPenney as the market just continues to grind lower. We're getting a grind lower all day. I'm a little bit upset. I have, a few puts in another account, but, I really was hoping I would be a little more short for this. But what I guess I did right now by sort of covering or selling puts or covering these shorts is that I'm looking for that digestive move in the market. I still want to see a little pop-up. Look at the 5-minute bar right now. It didn't close yet, but it's closing in 20 seconds. If the Qs close at 61.94, 61.95 on this 5-minute bar, that's a hammer bar. Now, last time we put in the hammer bar, we still grinded lower, but we did break up from the hammer bar. So just trying to interpret the micro moves and the longer moves and then just putting it all together into one big strategy is ultimately, what the master trader, in my opinion, tries to accomplish. So I did take most of it off the table. I am looking for a bounce in the market right now, but I am not bullish overall. I'm bullish. I'm a very short-term bull right now, simply because, not that anything is screaming go long me, just because the risk reward to the short side starts dissipating as the market continues to pull in and pull in and pull in and pull in, and now all of a sudden the risk reward wasn't there like it was when Apple was 10 points higher.
And tremendous post, Mark. Thank you for that. As the Dixie trading highs of the day. Major point in the markets. U.S. dollar breaking out. It's called strike one. From the bullish conviction.
I think IBM right here just banged right into the support level here on your January 19, 2012 high. You could see right here you have that nice little gap fill to 182.36. We just filled that gap and blipped through. This is where I stopped trying to be a short-term seller of IBM and look for maybe a short-term scalp to the long side, because you just filled the gap, you banged against support. Watch Apple. If Apple gets a little bounce here, IBM should as well. So you did bang against this support level right here, 182.36 for the perfect gap fill. And now if the bulls want to step in, they're going to be dealing with a lot less of the bears on the other side of the table, in my opinion, at these levels. But keep an eye on it. There's still nothing screaming bullish about this chart. It could still have a bear flag continuation pattern to the downside. However, a move right here in IBM to 183 would not surprise me whatsoever.
Use a nugget, the whole number below it. You got OCR. Nice. It's still holding that 31.50 level. Nice pullback. Neon got within a couple cents of its opening print. MBI, great intraday call out in chat. Dan, thank you. That was at 983. 983 stock now 1013. MBI. Risk 5 cents to make. Go ahead. Go.
Oh, I apologize, sir. 1023, A plus trigger representing your July 10th high for a gap fill potential to 1055, your July 9th low, and 1089, your July 9th high. So you're running into that gap trigger, $10.23. Mary, Bill, India.
It really was an incredible call here. And that is essentially why Dave created this environment. The wisdom of the collective, great work. Participation is key. I know a number of you have not participated. I know a number of you have consistently participate. Don't be shy.
So what you see on Visa right now is a beautiful gap fill off of the gap down. It's kind of scary for it right now because the reason for the up move, I mean, a gap fill is always justification in itself. A stock gaps up $1, pulls down $1, and then hovers. It filled its gap. Good. Now there's less resistance trying to push it down. So same story. You want to know what's the story, Morning Glory? Visa filled its gap to the upside, popped up 50 cents. You're running into overhead hourly resistance at 121.45. You can potentially break out from those levels to the upside, but for me, still, like you saw when we were talking bullishly about the Qs, you got that nice little 14-cent bounce off the day lows. That might be much of the retracement that I'm looking for. Maybe we go to 62.10, 62.05, but for me right here, that up move, that little bounce that you just saw right now, might be all that's left on the table. You're still in a bear flag formation, but you're having a bullish digestion to the upside. So on this Visa, know your time frame. Are you looking for a short-term long, like a very quick hyper scalp, or are you looking for a short versus resistance levels? In a market like this, it's easier for me to short weak names than go long strong names. So for me, you have to realize I will still ultimately hold a bearish bias, but when I hold a bearish bias, I look for an up move to justify a tight risk reward short with a stop. So on a Visa, what I would look for is a potential test and potential break of 121.45 and try to do it versus a stop of the previous hourly candle of 122.23. So just some thoughts there on how I approach a strong stock like Visa on a day like today.
You know what stock acts well, Mark, in this market? Rock 10. RKT. About a 55-cent bounce off the lows. iPaper still down 39 cents, but hanging on a daily basis. Louisiana Pacific not so much. Weyerhaeuser down not even a quarter. That to me is a tell. You've got the rails down marginally between 50 and 80 cents a piece. Home builders continue to show positive action. Now DHI is positive by 5 cents, 4 cents. Toll Brothers, USG is positive. Even that downgrade, Standard Pacific goes positive. Meritage continues to squeeze. MTH, that's a squeeze. That buyer at 34.75, no joke. 34.50, no joke. Now 35.04, squeezing them. Killing the shorts. I'll use the word. Killing it. MHO, still down a dime.
So the strategy I use right now for like Visa is I just open up very light. I just want to track it here, and then what you look for is if it does stop me out, which I do have a stop right above, a penny above day highs, 121.56. What you look for is you keep looking to get stopped out, and the more you get stopped out, the more conviction I have to take more shares short because you keep approaching closer and closer to this 122.23 overhead hourly resistance level. So that's the way I approach a Visa. The higher it goes, the more it goes against me. I know 8 Ball says he wants to see it go against him. That's ultimately what I want to see in Visa too. I want to see this thing go against me because when it does stop me out on these little garbage shares, a soldier or two, it allows me to take a 500,000 share position when I have a tighter risk and look to make more money. So my conviction here is always based on my share size.
Neonode, Neon, just ripped right through its opening print. Let's see what happens. Closing 609. Market helping cause out. NEON. $5 stock gets you back to 6.
Well, Rosji just slammed into that key support level, that bull flag pattern at 955. I do see the blip of 954. Technically speaking, that officially makes the bull flag broken in ROSG. For me, it's still a key support level, $9.55. If that breaks, look for 929 and 935 as underlying support.
Builders, builders, builders. Is there a comeback in the builders with JP Morgan sending out notices? Going to foreclose on the remaining inventory. Going to work, by the way. You watching the builders? Squeezing. Lennar now up a quarter on the day. Toll Brothers, squeeze. U.S. Gypsum, squeeze. Now your stocks. The XHB is the ETF for the builders, down now an eighth. Was just down 3 teenies. The on target $10. Sorry.
182.36 is descending channel resistance here for IBM. You got a little pop up here in the triple Qs, little pop up here in the spiders. Just what we were looking for on that bearish move was this little pop up to potentially help set us up to the short side. I just picked up a little IBM here with a very tight stop.
Sorry about that. Cantor Fitzgerald putting a $9 target on the name about a month ago on NEON. 617, the stock found a level yesterday at 617.
Neon broke ascending channel support. I would say 618 is your A+ trigger in the name. That's $6.18 on Neon Neonode.
Thank you. 617, I saw the stock working. You know, it was gravitating around that level. The kissback trade comes in at 639. 639. Don't have to be everywhere. What's General Electric doing today, Mark? GE down a quarter. Not even. 10,000 Neonode down there. You get stopped out. You lose a nickel. Get back into it. Knock you out again. And all of a sudden, position yourself out. Stock rips 60 cents. 55, 60 cents. Builders continue to run Lennar. Again, you want to see. We look for reversals. We're looking for action. Actionable ideas. Big trades in the builders. Talked about this morning the IYRs. Watch for a possible breakout, consolidating at 52-week highs. What's leading the market right now? Apartment commercial REITs showing strength across the board. Builders. Meritage talked about the squeeze. Don't want to fight the Mad Bomber. Don't fight the Mad Bomber at 34.75, even 34.50. This trades at highs of the day. Don't fight the trend. Make the money. As we approach 11 o'clock, Dow's down 87, Comp down 44. Wells Fargo 31 cents lower, JP Morgan 46 cents lower, off their open. Earnings tomorrow morning. Big trades in the supermarket names off of earnings. Big trades in the aggregate names off of TXI's earnings. TXI now up 3 1/4. MLM $1.29. You saw a reversal in the builders. AZO off of Citigroup's move. Stocks actually bounced about $7. Now up 12. ORLY, beautiful bounce. AAP, positive. Sympathy trades working beautifully in this market.
Lennar pushing up here to day highs over at daily resistance, $30.87. It's a very key trigger, Larry Edward Nancy. Beazer Homes is trying to go positive for the day right here. That's BZH.
Watch those coal names too, Mark. It's showing some relative strength early in the day. Spotties get above that 38.2 retrace. Still watching that BTU. Nugget held the whole number. Able to pick up a little more. Remember, this is you must define your trade. You must define your time frame. MBI bounced off the hole. 16-cent bounce. George, good morning. DT. Pulte Home, XHB, only down 4 cents right now. What's the risk? 1 penny in XHB to make 7 cents. As Lennar, DHI, pushing out to new highs. Toll Brothers at the highs. Pulte at the highs. Yeah, that's right. What was my tell? Meritage Homes. Who's got Meritage on their screens? I want to know. Show of hands in the room. Meritage, MTH Stealth Home Builder, up 60 cents. Take advantage of what we do here in Shine's Room. We're giving you a in-depth look. Our business, creating the ultimate full-service trading experience. Inviting you into our private trading environment, offering multiple strategies, including market insight, mentorship, coaching, education, market clarity. It's a comprehensive, interactive environment, all at your disposal. Shine's Room at shinestradingroom.com.
It is after 11 o'clock. We will be having a 1:15 webcast presentation. That's again at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you, Mark. Spiders above. Filling that gap. Nugget, nice bounce off the hole. Didn't break, 16 cents. Brought that cost down to 11. I mean, this is it. There's no fear in trading. No hesitation. Stick with your convictions. XHB is unchanged on the day. Okay, you buy 100 shares of stock, 10,000 shares of stock. Don't have that disconnect. Initiating trades. You're seeing the business's manual process. Right? Hitting the keys, working the keys. Intellectual prowess. Deciphering headlines. Working together on actionable ideas. Fantastic from a fundamental, from the headlines, from the technical perspectives. We are destroying it. And we know other people, traders, are having a tough time out there. Tell your friends. Like to see some referrals if you can. Appreciate it. As we are a business. LVS. Interesting action. Win down 3. LVS filling that gap on a daily, going back about 8 months, 7 to 8 months. Cleaned himself up. Gary, I liked you with the beard. MBI climbs at the firm, says Bank of America's settlement moving closer. MBIA. Amazingly, what a heads up here in Shine's Room.
XHB approaching 21 day highs.
Along this, these packaging names, Rock 10, trading at the high of the day, RKT, positive by 28 cents now. Packaging names for me in play. ORLY, Home Run, off of AZO Comp. Now $1.30 higher. Digix, Diagnostic, DGX, helping right out of the gate. 62.50. Great heads up, Coleman Hu this morning. Rylan now up 63, Meritage up 67, Lennar up 62 cents, DH Horton up 25. Toll Brothers US Gypsum, XHB up 4 cents. XHB. What's going on with Tesla Motors with a spike?
Got a key trigger right here, 3280 in the name. It hasn't triggered yet. The bid needs to come in, but 3280, very critical resistance level here. Questcord day highs up $1.10 right now. Again, bear flag digestive pattern. Overhead hourly resistance 45.45. Quest Charlie Oscar Randy Toll Brothers day highs. Beezer Homes day highs.
Neon, nice knowing you, Neon. Neon Node penny away from those levels as offers are taken. You got to understand. Opportunity also when you're throwing stock, you're long stock, you're throwing it out on the offer, it's a commission break. They pay you. Dave W., appreciate that. Thank you. Great point out, Peter, earlier. Peter T., thank you. Anticipation is so key. Expecting that squeeze. Flexibility. Dancing. Come on, baby. It's great work today in this market. And I thank you for the indecision out there that this government is creating, causing volatility in this market, enabling to make thousands upon thousands of dollars, recognizing fear, recognizing the greed.
I got Glue Mobile pushing here today highs 537, A plus trigger, Gary Larry Ultra.
Thanks for the heads up, Amron, the mentioning on the broadcast. Thank you. Amron held 20 EMA, a little bit of a break, hitting the stop orders out. Mid-range Bollinger Band support held to the penny. Overhead resistance coming in at 1445 on AMRN.
On that Netflix, you're just grinding up here. It doesn't really show, it's not really showing good signs of volume here yet, but it really needs to start trying to test 84.87 and 85.40 for that bull flag continuation pattern, because right here on the daily, it just still looks like it's digesting, and your best risk reward does come by this triangulation wedge support line, which might come in exactly at 80.50 or a nickel below day lows.
Thank you for that, Mark. Guys, great stuff so far this morning. I mean, in this sort of slow summer market, there's still a ton of volatility out there. I see more in the name-specific area than the market overall feels like. But you know, some of these names, just take a look at. Let's go through like even a Zynga at a really ugly level. ATPG, as somebody posted out, breaking below that $3 level again. Pandora also breaking $10 yesterday, continuing its slide today. I made some money this morning. I had ARNA puts, an ARNA. I've been holding them for a couple of days. I bought them for 1 penny. The 10 puts that expire Friday weeklies. Remember we talk about these lottery tickets all the time, how we find these names that have volatility in them, and you buy something that's for 1 penny or 2 cents or 2 pennies. So ARNA $1.60 off of yesterday's 2 days ago's level at $12, now trading at $10.40. So I made some money in that name. But you know, here's how I feel about the market overall. Market's slowly bleeding lower, 6 days in a row negative, but at the same time, some of these other names are just getting taken out to the shed. You know, so just be careful, be aware. GMCR we talk about, stock was 25 3 days ago, now it's in the 20 again, 20 area. And you know, yesterday Groupon, static about Groupon potentially having some solvency issues. ATPG with solvency issues. You know, just look out, be careful, be hedged. The out of the ordinary can happen both directions, long and short, so be prepared.
Appreciate that heads up, Shine. Neonode 618. Right here is your trigger on the offer. $6.18. Nice heads up on Zynga. Put in a double all-time low right now. $4.78. That was a double all-time low on ZNGA. And I throw away my Beazer Homes. We did get that bullish digestion. Again, it was a nice call, calling the lows right there in the Qs. And you saw we put in the little hammer bar, and it was great conviction there, Peter, to step into those longs, and was definitely the right thing. I mean, you took it a step ahead of me. Me, I was getting rid of my shorts, but you actually flipped long, and that was obviously the right play. So very nicely done there. And, you know, still overall, we're still in this bearish pattern. Apple's still trading underneath the key $600 level, and we're just going to have to wait to see what further steps want to happen for here. But as long as the volume remains tepid on this up move, it just gives further conviction to the bear flag formation.